I've been an avid reader for a really long time. These are some books that I read when I was far too young. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I think I was like 15 when I read this. Now, I didn't read the entire thing because I quickly realized, like, oh, this is not what I thought it is. I watched a lot of booktubers at the time who read like YA fantasy and that's it, and they loved Colleen Hoover. So I was like, well, gotta pick this one up. Imagine my shock as a 14, 15-year-old. Also, if you haven't seen this excerpt from Ugly Love, now you have. The entire ACOTAR series. As a teenager, I was obsessed with Throne of Glass. When I first started reading the series, there were only 3 books out. It was like the first YA fantasy series that I ever read. So of course, I was gonna read ACOTAR when it came out. And this first book was published when I was 15 years old. I bought it from Barnes & Noble the day it was published. Where in Barnes & Noble did I buy it? The YA section. And honestly, these books have been marketed as YA until I think like recently, until after Book Talk. These books are very much new adult. I have a feeling because of Book Talk, a lot of young children are probably reading these, and I don't know how I feel about that. Next, this one is bad. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I was also like 15, 16 when I read this. And at the time when you're 16, you think like, I'm old enough to read anything. Oh my God. Now as a 24-year-old, knowing the contents of Sharp Objects, I don't even think I'm old enough to read that now. This book is graphic and extremely disturbing. It tackles a lot of like disturbing subject matter, but it's really good. And I only just watched the show last year and it was really good. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, I don't think a lot of the subject matter in this is like inappropriate for an age group per se, but I read this when I was like 16 and I was like, this is my favorite book ever. And frankly, I just think I didn't have enough brain wrinkles at the time to completely understand it. I've been meaning to reread it as an adult for so long now, but it's a really long book. I used to be able to devour 1,000-page books in like a week. I would really like to revisit this book soon and see how I feel about it. I think I'll still like it, but for more than just the aesthetic of it all and feeling a lot more superior to my peers for having read it.